Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. My name is Lee, and I just want to start something here on YouTube that, for music lovers, for passionate, hobbyist music lovers, those who pretty much it's their passion. They live and breathe listening to music. Um, I'm trying to label myself as a music critic, and some of the keys of what makes a music critic great or not so great. So first, I want to give my little quick background. Is I grew up listening to me. I'm 57 years old now. I grew up listening to music pretty much most of my life since I first heard songs when I was 5 or 6 years old from my mom and my dad's archives. But the keys to great music critics is, first of all, you must be open minded. You can't be one track minded and just be into like heavy metal and despise and hate country, or into certain genres like hip hop, disco, funk, soul, rhythm and blues, classical. You know, you must be open minded about all these genres of music. You can't just be into, like I said, rock and roll and despise disco. That's okay. That's a person's own, his own opinion. But a music critic has to understand every genre. When he listens to a song, he's open minded about it. And he takes into consideration the lyrics. He takes into consideration the beat. He takes into consideration every musical instrument that's included in the song. He takes into consideration, are the people who wrote the song, did they actually live the song? Did they really like country and western? Is the artist writing his songs to tell about his personal life? But when you get to the song itself, that's all I focus on. I don't care about the politics of like certain artists, what's behind their politics. I'm not into that. I take the song for what it is, and the lyrics and the beat and the instruments and the voice of the artist. So the very one of the biggest keys to music critic is open mindedness. You have to accept every, unless you want to be a music critic of one genre, that's fine. If you want to be a critic of hip hop or disco or funk or the blues, there's so many genres out there. You really have to be listening to all of them. You have to really be open minded on the issues. And the reason why I'm starting this, I just like people's input on this. Like, send me a song, in the comment section about a song you feel is underrated, a song that you feel is overrated, an artist or a band, the same thing. I'm looking for real music lovers out there whose passion is music. I spent a lot of time and years listening to music. I've listened to, you name it. I overwhelmed by it. I've listened to truck driving music. My dad grew up a trucker, and he listened to truck driving music, which I was shocked when I heard how good some of these artists were. Then I got into classic rock. I got into pop music. I got into disco. I got into hip hop. I liked rap. I enjoyed listening to rap. I started out listening to, like, to me, like band like Atmosphere. They were kind of hip hoppy. The Beastie Boys. Then I got into a little bit of Lil Wayne and Eminem, and the list goes on and on and on. But it's hard for people to like country music who are going to listen to rap. But see, that's what makes a great music critic is he's open-minded to the song itself. He doesn't care about the politics. He doesn't care about the style of music. He takes that song for what it is, puts it into his head. And another key to great music critics is when you first hear a great song, boom, you love it, right? That's why when U2 came out, and pretty much that's when all the newbies came out, like Miley Cyrus and Justin Bieber and Lady Gaga and Pitbull, and all examples of when they first come out. Of course, they're getting close to billions of views because they're newbies, they're new songs. But give it time. Like examples of in rock, Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. How many times have you heard that song, folks out there who are into classic rock? Or Tammy Wynette, Stand By Your Man, or Hello Walls by Fair and Young, or just the list goes on and on and on about, or Aretha Franklin, or Wilson Pickett, or the Bee Gees, or KC and the Sunshine Band. You have to hear a song over and over and over again in order to say, does it still sound as good now that I've listened to it maybe 20, 30, 100 times, whatever, as when I first heard it? Does it get old? Some songs do. Some songs that I have listened to was played so much that they just don't hold its value anymore. But then there's some songs that I've listened to and they still sound as good today as when I first heard them. So that's just examples of great music critics. I believe that I am a really good music critic. I have listened for music for 50 years, all kinds of genres, from the Raspberries, the Cookies, Conway Twitty, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, Chateau, bands that a lot of people never even heard of. And there's a lot of good music out there that got overlooked. There's a lot of bands that were way overrated, and these are all going to follow into suit in my videos. Today, I'm just talking about what makes a great music critic. I know there's a lot of serious music lovers out there who are getting annoyed by critics who claim that some of these songs are the greatest songs of all time. Some of these albums are the great. Some of these artists. Well, like I said, nothing against the Beatles were very good. Were they one of the greats? I don't know yet. I have not listened to every Beatles song. That's another thing that makes a great music critic. You must listen to every single song that they sing over and over again. Because whatever the media puts out there is what you listen to. But now go deeper into the artist or the band and say, well, boy, they had maybe 3 great songs, but the other 7 kind of sucked. Do you know what I'm saying out there, music lovers? So that's another big key to being a music critic, is listen to every song. I do not judge a band or an artist till I have listened to every song that they sang. Were they consistent? Were they okay? I know some bands that were way overplayed. They're just way over. I know some bands that were overly rated, while some bands flew under the radar and they would blow them away. And music lovers, you know what I'm talking about. So those are some of the important things about a music critic. Another great thing that I learned about being a great music critic is the mood. Like, when I got my earphones on and my headphones on, the song sounds so much better than if I'm walking around listening to it on a small speaker, or driving around in my car, or having a glass of wine, or I get home irritated, or I'm happy, or I'm sad. Does the music hold the water through all types of emotions in your life? Does, like, like I said, when you're driving in your car, does the song sound the same as when you're quietly up at 4 in the morning, got your earphones on or headphones, and you're listening to the song? Does that sound still the same? Does it sound the same when you're at a gathering outside at a barbecue and the stereo's blazing that same song? Does it sound the same when you're getting in an argument or you're stressed out? That's another key to great music criticism. So these are just things that are popping into my head as I go when I've analyzed music. I have a huge collection of CDs, but it all started with vinyl, with 45s and 78s and 33s. And then it went to 8 tracks and cassettes. And so I've listened to a lot over the years, and I do claim that I'm a great music critic. And I'm going to prove this in my other videos as I go on with more and more videos. And the key is, right now, I'm debating on whether to give a list. Now, let me get this straight, friends out there in music land. You cannot, it's impossible. I've tried. There is no greatest song ever. It can't be done. I can't, I've tried that. If your little track mind has only listened to maybe 100 songs in your lifetime, possibly you could do it. But when you've listened to millions of songs out there, can't do it. There is some songs that are elite, but I cannot match them up one above another. You get to the top, and that's it. Like, for example, the Eagles, "Good Day in Hell," awesome song. And then I listen to Motley Crue, "Teaser," awesome song. Then I listen to Fair and Young, "Hello Walls," awesome song. Or, just an example, or some funk, or some disco, some Casey and the Sunshine Band, "I Want to Put On My Boogie Shoes," awesome. Even in genres I can't label, or I'll listen to some Molly Hatchet or some Lynyrd Skynyrd, and then I'll go to some no names, like Shooting Star or UFO or Fastway. Then I'll get into some Grand Funk Railroad. Most of my videos are going to start out with rock, and then do a little country and categorize each one. But no, it's impossible. You cannot do the greatest songs of all times, because I take into consideration, as most of you music lovers who are not newbies, but you're wily old veterans, the media puts out a song, it attracts the masses. So the masses go and buy the records. So to me, the greatest song isn't labeled by sales neither, because when the Beatles came over from England, and it was about the timing. The timing was perfect. TV was coming, Ed Sullivan Show was coming out, so the timing was perfect. Before the Beatles, there were bands and artists that blew them away. But nothing against the Beatles, but it's all about timing. Like I said, when YouTube came out, that's when the newbies came out. Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, they got the masses. So that's not what makes a great song. So us wily old veterans, we're not ignorant. We're not ignorant to follow the masses. We sit back in our chair, we let the storm ride out, like Led Zeppelin. Good band, I'm not knocking Led Zeppelin. Great band. Were they the greatest? No. But their style came out at the right time. They caught the West Coast's eyes, California and the West Coast, and it stormed across to the East Coast. Their style was different. That's what caught the masses. But there were bands whether from England, whether from Australia, whether from Canada. There was bands in Canada that blew Led Zeppelin away. Just blew them away. I could name some: Bachman Turner Overdrive, April Wine, Triumph. Good bands. They blew Led Zeppelin out of the water. But Led Zeppelin was good. Some bands got a little more appreciation than others. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Led Zeppelin wasn't a great band. I'm not saying that. But I'm just setting you an example that true music, like I love the Rover, the great song. I love the Rain song. I love Kashmir. I love the Immigrant song. Great song. Some songs weren't so great, like most artists. No, you can't bat 1,000. So these are just some of the things a music critic can label himself if he's a good music critic. Does he really have a passion for music? I'm not saying a college boy is better than a boy who's blue collar. I'm blue collar, but I know who I am. I know what I listen to. I know the music that I've listened to. I understand music. So, a great music critic I am. And I'm going to prove this. Not everybody's going to support me. Not everybody's going to say, yeah, you're right. Because it boils down to most people, it's in their own opinion. It makes it hard for a music critic to not offend people and say, well, Stairway to Heaven, it was a good song back in the 70s when I was a teenager. It was an alright song. I enjoyed it. But then my lifestyle got rough and rowdy. So to me, Led Zeppelin wasn't rough and rowdy. So I got into like Molly Hatchet and Skinner and Grand Funk Railroad and The Who and Bad Company. I got into a little bit of rough and rowdier music. But most people, they didn't change from the 70s. They still remain, I guess you would call them hippie-ish, and I've got nothing against hippies. I got nothing against nobody out there. I'm just saying, if you're a music critic, you take it seriously. You don't play games with the music. Nothing against those who are sticking to what they grew up with. The Grateful Dead, the Deadheads, great band. Are they one of the greatest? I don't know. What do you label as one of the greatest? The top 100? Oh my God, I remember on VH1 the top 100 bands or songs of all time. What a joke. They don't know music. I know music, and I'm going to prove it to you all. So hang on to your seats. My name is Lee, and every video I come out with is going to be serious. I'm not going to play the songs. I'm just put the name of the song and the artist on the screen because I don't want to get involved with the BS of copyrights and Warner Brothers and BMG and WMG, all that stupid crap out there that they don't want us to share songs on the internet, so whatever. I don't get involved with that. I'm a music critic. And those of you who recognize some of the songs or bands that I say, well, I'm going to start out with some of the most underrated bands of all time. And each genre, I'll start with each genre. And my first one I'm not going to say hair bands are different from classic rock. Yes, maybe Metallica, Motorhead, Black Sabbath. Are they classic rock? They label them heavy metal, so that's clear. But I'm not going to say Poison, Cinderella, Motley Crue is going to be different than, Bad Company and Aerosmith back in the day, back in the 70s, or The Who. You know, so classic rock to me is classic rock. Yes, I'll separate heavy metal, but we're going to start out with the most underrated bands of classic rock, and then I'm not going to stick to classic rock. I'll get into a little country, a little disco, a little funk and soul, a little hip hop, a little rap. We're just going to start a trend here. This is for serious music lovers, and you newbies out there, if you want to really get on and understand what music's all about, then get on board. Like, what's her name? That's a good song. I can't remember her name, but it was a good song. I like it. It was country. It was a video of Giddy Up, Giddy Up, Giddy On Up, or Giddy Up Go. There's a woman there. Good song. I like it. It's got a good beat. Really good song. Just comes to my mind. And Lady Gaga, I checked out Lady Gaga. She was okay. I'm 57 years old. I thought Lady Gaga was okay. Eminem, okay. Kid Rock, okay. Rage Against the Machine, I don't care about their politics. Some of the songs are good. So, Jane's Addiction, decent. So I'm just saying, this is my knowledge of music. It goes on and on and on. I just, sometimes a music critic who knows a lot of music, he gets so much in his head that it just doesn't come to his head. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, we're going to start out with the most underrated bands of all times. It's going to take a long time. I'm still listening to underrated bands, but this first video is based upon what makes a great music critic. Do you live and breathe the music? Do you really have a passion for the music? Are you open-minded? Do you listen to it when you're angry? Do you listen to it when you're happy? Do you listen to it when you're drinking a little glass of wine? Do you smoke dope? Maybe that enhances the music for you. I used to smoke dope. I don't smoke dope now. But that's your decision. Moods, just certain things that make a great music critic. Do you take it serious? So I decided I want to share this information of wealth that's in my head and become a music critic. So maybe down the road, if any new bands come out, send me a song. I'll listen to it. I'll give you my honest opinion, because I am one of the greatest music critics of all times, and I'm going to prove this. So thank you for listening, and I'll start on my next video.